You need to acknowledge probably. All right.
Ike.
Very good. Well, I'm here with Sarthak from Creative Exchange, and Sarthak and I have spent a lot of time together over the last few months talking about how entertainment events, specialized and VIP and open entertainment events in your hospitality venue, your restaurant, your club, your hotel, can be a value driver not only to your top line and your bottom line, but as a value driver to your relationship with your customer, and even a value driver, obviously, to your employees by giving them some variety and giving them some additional income, boosting the awareness of your venue. There's lots of things we can talk about, right, Sarthak? But I want to introduce Sarthak from Creative Exchange and have a conversation around the entertainment mechanism as a value driver in your business. Welcome, Sarthak. Great to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Troy. Nice to see you again, and looking forward to resume our conversation once again. Like we've done it so much, like let's do it once again.
Yeah, for sure. And this time we want to share it with the world, right? So we'll be posting this so that operators and owners and managers throughout the hospitality industries will hopefully get a chance to see it and really consider digging a little deeper into the idea of using entertainment in their business, but also solving for a lot of the problems that people have found throughout the years doing this very manually and very individually on a one-by-one case basis. And so we want to talk about how you can systematize entertainment in your business and what kind of benefits that could be to you. So Sarthak, tell me a little bit about your history, and then why did you start this company called Creative Exchange and create a platform to solve for the pain points of engaging with entertainment in our business?
So I come from a very different background. So mostly, like I was working with banking. Like I used to work with Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, and stuff, other banks like Wells Fargo and Wachovia and stuff. That was interesting. I used to work with Morgan Stanley back in 2008. Like that was an interesting time to be in Morgan Stanley in Wall Street in 2008. Later, I was like looking at like different technology solutions that exist, and like that included retail, and like we were looking at like many different things. We were looking at IoT when it was coming up, the cryptos when they were coming up, and stuff like that. So in doing all this research, at some point, like I realized that music industry, as much as it feels like it's automated, in for the musicians as well as the consuming parties, let's put it that way, like the consumers of music. So we do get our dose of music through Spotify or something as individuals, but like when it comes to concerts and stuff, like it's still run like in a way how it was like running 100 years back, right? Like nothing changes. Like we have those venues, like the musicians go there, they get booked, and then you have to buy tickets, or you walk into the venue and like then you enjoy music. Then there was the question of can we do it in a different way so that musicians can make money, if you see like in your town, like wherever you are right now, like there would be 10 musicians around you, there would be 10 bars around you. So, and like you'd like to go and listen to music like in that bar, but uh, the bar hasn't found the musicians, and you haven't found the bar to listen to that music. That's why you're like always dependent on a big concert to deliver you the live music. So we thought like let's bring it all closer. Like they're all there. Like it's just a matter of like getting them all together, and then like we'll be taking care of the bar or the restaurant or the hotel or the country club, like whatever it may be, that they can drive like more revenue because they'll have more customers, and the musician is right around there. It's that they haven't found the musician, or like they haven't figured out a way like to how to do it efficiently. So when we get it together, like it's a whole new economy, like in a way. which always existed but hasn't been put together. So that was the idea behind Creative Exchange and why we started off.
Yeah, and I think we'll talk a little bit about some of the specific features of it, but there's a lot of problems that it solves. Let's talk a little bit about why a restaurant or a hospitality venue of any kind should engage with the idea of bringing entertainment in. Let's talk about the value proposition and benefits, and then I will definitely take it to the next step and talk about some of the pain points, and ultimately we'll talk about how your platform solves for those. But what are some good reasons why a restaurant or a venue should take up the idea of offering entertainment? And I say that in a programmatic way, and in kind of a systematized way that is predictable, because I think there's some value to the predictability of it as well. But talk to us a little bit about the whys.
So one of the reasons is like if so today is a Tuesday, and yesterday was a Monday. Like, what's the compulsive reason that a person like me should come to a restaurant like yours on a Monday because of your menu? Like, I could always go on Thursday or Friday, and that's what the customer does. So there's no compulsive reason for a customer to come to your venue today, and that only changes like when you have a very compulsive reason, your entertainment is different, or your menu is different, or you're giving a discount, or
St. Patty's Day falls on a Tuesday.
Yeah, or something like that, right? So, and it's very hard to keep varying your entire operation structure based on the days to make it compulsive. If you just add music to it, it becomes one of the compulsive reasons. I love jazz, you have jazz, and today is a Monday, and I would like to go out, but I had no reason, so I show up. So that's one of the ways in which we are thinking, that by constantly changing the programming, it'll not happen if you have one musician sitting there every single day, but if you change it, there might be someone who loves jazz, and someone who loves rock, and someone who loves country, and so on. So
right, and this is something that bars and nightclubs specifically have learned to do, right, to drive sort of consistent value. It started with ladies' night happy hours, and then ladies' nights, and then industry nights, and then they got into DJs, certain types of music from DJs, and then live bands as well, certain every night of the week. And if every Tuesday was reggae night, then it would draw out all of the reggae lovers, and you could plan on that. It didn't mean that I went every Tuesday, but it meant that at least I knew that if I wanted to hear live reggae and go out, that I needed to go there on a Tuesday, right? And so I think this is the idea that has long been tried and true in certain venues, but what we're saying is that all venues can engage in this model and drive value. And that doesn't mean you're going to do 7 nights a week or 7 days a week of music, but you certainly can find a cadence that makes sense, that will drive some value, right?
Yeah, that's right. I see my own behavior in this, and I'm guided by my own behavior. There's a certain place down the street, and I just cannot stop going there every Sunday night. And there's a certain other place where they have jazz, and that's on a Wednesday night. So it does drive me out, and does drive a lot of friends who are interested in the same. So I guess so the clubs and bars they have done it because they're more about programming, but there's no reason why a restaurant cannot do it, or why a hotel why Marriott cannot do it, right? They're not always their bars and restaurants are not always full, depending on the place you are. Some of them are full, but if you're not full, you can, there's no harm in trying such a way of getting your customer.
Yeah, and you just hit on a couple of points that I actually had made notes on that I wanted to make sure I'm gonna amplify those. I'm gonna put a exclamation point. You glanced over them, but you, in your experience, you just articulated some of the benefits directly that those restaurants or venues are experiencing, because they're drawing you out. They're giving you that compulsive reason, right? So not only does it differentiate you from your competition, if you're the only one in your neighborhood doing this, then you're going to get added throughput, right? Additional visits. The adding visitation for the same customer, like you said, if you know you can go to that restaurant any day of the week and get the same menu, then you get to choose when you go. And more than likely, you're going to do that during the social days and times that we all do that: Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, maybe Sunday brunch. But then you're competing, right? And me as the venue is not really getting the benefit of spreading that out, et cetera. You just said it. It's an additional occasion, right? You're going to go on a Wednesday night specifically for the jazz. That doesn't mean you're not going to go on Saturday or Sunday with your friends. And then when you said you're going to bring your friends or you're going to meet people there, you might have gone to that bar or restaurant by yourself and just had dinner, right? Or maybe had one person join you. In this case, it's sort of an occasion. It's an event. And you're going to find other like-minded people within your group of friends or community. And you're going to say, hey, let's get together and go there and do that. So as the venue, I'm getting extra visits. I'm getting extra people per visit. I'm probably getting, average check increase, right? Because you're staying longer. So all of those are pretty obvious benefits, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
well, give it from your perspective. I threw out some ideas. Give us a couple of real world examples where a venue engaged with you and your platform. It made it easy, because that's what we're talking about. It's a marketplace. It makes it and solves a lot of the challenges and stresses of doing this type of programming. Tell us a couple of examples maybe that you saw some success, a venue that was just really surprised when they used you and your service, and they added this when they didn't have it before, or they added more because it made it easier to add more than one day a week of entertainment. Tell us a little bit about a story or two where you saw those benefits realized at the venue level.
So, like, one of the cases that I can easily think about is Cure Kitchen. Like they were Asian grill, and they used to have people on Fridays and Saturdays, like any other restaurant, right? And they were thinking okay, this is not in a strip mall, like in a place like this. There's no compulsive reason for people to come on a Monday or Tuesday. So they started live music on a Friday night, and then they saw that even the Friday nights are getting better. And then they started Saturday night, and Saturday night was getting better, and they ended up doing all the 5 days or something like that. They would have a DJ once, they would have rock ones and jazz ones and so on. So
the results were driving their behavior to keep adding more because the consumer kept responding, right?
Yeah. You're spending say $200, $400, $500. If you get more than that as return on your investment every single day, then that's a compulsive reason enough as a venue to do that. You can scale up and scale down. We do not write a contract and fix you in any way. So you see your the behavior of your customer. If you say, okay, let's do a Sunday morning brunch. You can do a Sunday brunch for 4 weeks, and then you see, okay, yeah, this is not working. Let's change it to Saturday night or Sunday night or something like that.
Or change the type of entertainment.
Yeah. Or
right?
You can change the type of entertainment. So.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to drive this home. And then the next step is I want to talk about the naysayers, the people that have tried this and say, not for me, not sure how to make it work, because I think the platform is a good reason to come back and give it a try. But, I'll give you an example. I've taken over some venues. My business has done turnaround and asset transition management for 24 years. And, so we've done private clubs, we've done golf clubs, we've done public country club style venues, we've done restaurants, hotels, et cetera. And I can tell you this has always been something that we found to be of value, right? Again, whether the Friday night and it just drives volume. See, on an average Friday night without entertainment throughout the year, we would do X, and let's just say X is $15,000. I don't know, just a random number. Well, on a Friday night with entertainment during the season, we would call it, May to October, we would see that average Friday night go to $25,000 or $30,000, right? We would drive additional guests to our venue that would normally not even come. I mean, to your point, you're probably going to venues that you would maybe not even go to, but because they're offering that, you're going to give them a try. So it's new trial, right? So we could expose our brand, we could expose our venue to new customers because that was the draw. And that's, again, just one of the elements of it. But you have this consistency. And again, like you said, doing it once here, once there, you're not going to get the bang for the buck as if you were to program it in a consistent way where people can, it takes time for people to discover it, but also to find, that didn't match up with their schedule that Tuesday night. Now they can plan for it, get a babysitter, and probably, make it a purposeful occasion, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like one of the things that we have seen is like if you make it like a Friday night every week, then it also like gets baked into the behavior and like the habits of people, right? Hey, it's Friday night, let's go to that bar. So so one of the things that you drive is also like getting that behavior going. Like if you,
and by the way, you talk
program
about baking it in, you just made me think of is if you do it once in a while, it's a stress on the entire business. It's a stress on your staff, on your kitchen. They don't get used to it, right? But when you do it regularly, now there's mental preparation. You work out the bugs, you work out the kinks, you realize,
Exactly.
oh, we've got to offer a different menu, right? We have a limited menu. The table average, there's 8 or 10 people at a table versus 3 or 4, so there's a lot of problems that have to be solved for. But if you do it regularly, you can solve for those pretty quickly, and you can get used to doing that, and your staff gets used to it, your kitchen gets used to it. And by the way, then the experience for the guests that are coming to the event or venue, they get a better experience as well, right?
The most stressed out person like in this whole thing is the bartender.
Yeah,
Like your
true.
bartender needs to be prepared for the onslaught of like people at that time.
Right.
So
And by the
that's
way,
like
you can
also like
start this off
another.
and you can do a reservation system, right? You can do a table holding system. You can do sort of a VIP section where you kind of hit a certain minimum to even have the event. There's a lot of ways to structure this. So let's imagine, because I'm sitting here thinking about people listening to this or watching this and saying, okay, well, I've got a lot of objections here, a lot of problems here. I've tried this before. It didn't work. It was a lot of work. It took a lot of time. What are some of the problems that your platform, which let's just articulate what it is. Creative Exchange is a marketplace and management platform for entertainers. It's a way to find entertainers and work with them and schedule them, etc. So it's a marketplace, not unlike a Tinder for venues and restaurants, but it does a lot
Kind
more,
of in
right?
a
It
way.
solves
Yeah.
a lot of that in between logistics as well. So talk a little bit about some of the problems that the platform solves for.
So the first problem we solve is like discovery. So if you got to start a programming like which involves like 4 Fridays of rock, classic rock, then it's about like discovering like 4 different artists and like having choice of like 20 artists so that you can find the 4. And so that's the first problem. Then the other one is the communication. Like once you have decided, like there's back and forth communication like between the artist and yourself, like they'd be available or not, like you have to note down all the prices and stuff and like and then finally you get your 4. Now once you get your 4 like bands for the next 4 Fridays, then comes the question of like, okay, now there's an accounting problem, right? Like first is like who performs when at what time. So if you book it on Creative Exchange, like it all goes into a calendar, like you can see the time and everything is all set, first of all. Then second, like there's always a problem with payment. Like how do you pay? Like some would take a check, some wouldn't have a bank account, and like some would have a bank account without Zelle, and some would have a bank account with Zelle, like and stuff like that. And at the end of the year, like you have like another accounting problem, which is your 1099.
Right.
So once you have like we take care of your 1099, like we make sure that all of your payments are electronic payments, so you do not have to like deal with anything. There's a billing dashboard where you can see like what's paid and what's not paid, so everything is taken care of like on the platform. The other thing is now that you have done it, now how do people know that you have done it? So we take care of the marketing aspect of it and promotion.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little deeper because I'm a guy who's hired a lot of bands for a lot of venues, and I'm gonna empathize with my colleagues in the industry, and then I'm gonna articulate how amazing this platform is to do all this. In my town of 350,000 people, we probably have 10 or 12 bands of varying sizes that charge varying amounts of money for varying amounts of time, that are booked a certain distance in advance. They all want to be paid differently. Their contracts all require different things. They have a point person, or they may have three. So communication can be challenging. Whether they're going to show up or not, that's
a question. Yeah.
What are their requirements for like electricity and size of the space and things like that? There's a lot that goes into these conversations. And for some companies, it's a full-time role to manage these. I can tell you, we've had people it was their job nearly full-time to do this. What else? With a platform like yours, you can find more choices, a broader range of choices. You can preview their work, right? You can see videos and things of their work all in one place, right? You're not sort of asking the world and the network to introduce you to people. You can choose your price, right? You can kind of find people within, let's call it the dollar value range that makes sense for your venue and venue size. You can hire them and contract them, because the contracting process, everybody's is different. They all have different contracts. Certainly centralize the communication. I love the payment. I can tell you multiple occasions, I would write the check, forget it, leave it in my office. I would give it to the bookkeeper. She'd put it in the safe, forget to give it to the night manager. Completely forget to request the check altogether, and be begging them at midnight to forgive me. Meeting people on Sunday mornings to give them the check, asking my controller to come in and write a check on a Sunday morning because they're going to, throw a fit if I don't. Those are all real world scenarios that this platform solves for, right? I love the calendaring, and I love the marketing aspect. I don't want to glance over that. You guys actually, as a platform, digitally market these events for your venue partners, right?
Right. So every time you book an event, book a musician, and like it becomes an event which goes into your page, and like we start marketing it all over the social media. So all that process is automated. Like we do not have to do it manually. So neither you nor we are doing it. Like the platform does it, and that saves a whole lot of time. And it's getting like more and more intelligent. Like we're putting more like automation and AI and other stuff into it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So then the big question that everybody will jump to, right? How much does this cost?
The platform is free to join.
And what about to use? What about to use the platform?
So whenever you book, we charge you 9% on top. So that's the only thing that you're charged as a.
So it's a flat percentage of the booking value. So if you pay a band $500, you're going to pay 9% of that to the platform for using it in the process.
Yeah.
Very good. So very predictable. No you're not paying for it when you're not using it. It's only a pay to play scenario. And by the way, there's no contract, there's no obligation, there's no minimum usage, etc.
Yeah. we realized like if you're a winery in Ohio and like it's snowing and like no one is coming out and like you're not using the platform,
Right.
you're not like paying anything for that. So that's how we have kept it, so that like you can increase the number of shows, like reduce the number of shows, and like use it to the best way that you feel fit. Like so, we do not like dictate how you use it.
Right.
We
Right.
we can always advise, but we don't dictate. Like
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
very
don't
good.
judge.
And by the way, that's another thing that I've found in all of our conversations is that you really understand this business. You understand what not only the challenges and opportunities are, but you understand some creative ways to really make this successful for me, the operator, right? So you're not just
Yeah,
sort of giving us access to a platform and saying good luck. You really are a consultant in a lot of ways. You're really there to help them maximize the value of not only the platform, but the opportunity and give them ideas and best practices from many of your other venue partners that do this on a regular basis, even some at scale, which, by the way, I've been coming from the perspective of the single operator, small brand, occasional user type scenario. But because I think a lot of people who would follow me and listen to this are in that bucket. But the reality is this is a great tool to bring efficiency to folks that are already managing this process or do this at scale, whether it's nightclub
yeah.
groups or bar and restaurant groups that do this at scale already, right?
Oh yeah. Like we realized, like some of the chains would need to like have like multiple logins, have multiple people like in different locations to do all this and stuff. So we have a whole chain management like uh, built in. So that could be someone like sitting in New York and managing all the live music in all the locations all around US, like paying for them, selecting the music, making sure like everything is working within like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah,
Like
really making it efficient,
that's what
but
it is.
providing that centralized oversight and control, right?
Yeah,
Because and we've actually together, we've talked to a brand recently where they had 28 locations and they just put it on the GMs at 28 locations, said every Friday night you have to have music, good luck. And it
yeah,
was like, wait a minute. The brand, all 28 stores could pay $100 a week or something to employ somebody at the home office
yeah,
who, by the way, is probably a musician or comes from a nightclub or comes from a bar that has done this, and just manage all of them in a fraction of the time that the collective was spending on it. And by the way, you'll get greater quality, you'll get more consistency, all kind. Every store will have similar numbers as regards to costs, and you leave it to
right.
the GMs. I mean, who knows? You're just sort of throwing it out there and hoping for the best.
The way we have built it, like you don't even need to have a dedicated person at your head office. Like it could be a music enthusiast, right? Like someone who just loves to listen to music. So for them, like it's like, okay, I'm listening to like 20 musicians like all over the country, and like I get to select, and like so it could be great for an employee like who just loves to do it, like
Right, doesn't even
so
have to be
that
full-time. It doesn't
doesn't
have to
even
take
have
that
to be
much time
full
to do it.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, this has been very enlightening, Sarthak. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really wanted to bring this type of opportunity and solution to folks in our industry. I think it's much needed. I think there's a lot of value proposition built into the idea of entertainment in your venue, but also in utilizing a tool that can provide so many benefits across the spectrum of the challenges that this comes with, but also bring a more efficient and a more effective solution to your venue as well. I really appreciate your thoughts and your time, and I'm really glad that you've built a cool tool, and I'm looking forward to introducing you to more folks that will need it and use it and take advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you so much. We continue building, like we're coming up with like more cool features like every day. Like uh, uh, so we're coming up with like ticketing. So like if you're a hotel and you just want to have one odd evening where you sell like 50 tickets rather than like
Sure.
with like jazz music and like dinner, like you could do that from the platform. So every day we're coming up with something cool. So look forward to like work with like more and more people in the hospitality industry. It's been great learning like the new space and how hospitality is changing, and like lots of learning have come from you, Troy. So thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you. Yeah. Well, it's mutual, my friend. So appreciate the learnings and the ideas that come from you. And again, like you said, one-off special event. You have a ticketed event. It comes with a dinner. Those kinds of things. All of these are great ideas, and I'm glad that the platform is evolving to include many of these features. So we'll have you back. We'll talk again, and
Sure thing.
we'll see you soon.
Thank you. It was a pleasure catching up.